Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin a discussion on the current events of 6th December 2018. The first issue news is regarding a proposal by the government which gives an option to all the Indian citizens to withdraw their Aadhaar number including the biometrics and other data. The Supreme Court in its judgment, even though it upheld the validity of Aadhaar, had struck down Section 57 of the Act which allows private entities to use the unique number for identification. Further, the court had also declared linking of bank accounts and SIM cards with Aadhaar as unconstitutional. Also, the court had struck down Section 33, which allowed the disclosure of Aadhaar information for national security reasons and had directed that such disclosure could only be made by an officer above the joint secretary level in consultation with the judicial officer. In line with this judgment, the government has put forth its recent proposal, which will now be sent to the cabinet for greater deliberation. The proposal also seeks to appoint an adjudicating officer to decide whether a person's Aadhaar related data need to be disclosed in the interest of national security. We'll further look into this based on the future developments. For now, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the restricted area permit in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Recently, the chairman of the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes has said that the center may revisit its decision to lift the restricted area permit system which was in place since 1963 in order to protect the indigenous tribes. The system was lifted to develop tourism, but after the death of US citizen who was killed in the North Sentinel Island, the center may reintroduce the system in order to protect these tribes. A point to be noted here is, even though the regime was withdrawn, a tourist was required to take permission from the forest department and the local administration under various other legislations which were violated by the American. For further details on this issue, please go back and watch the current affairs roundup video of the previous month. The next issue news is an editorial regarding the recent decision of the Monetary Policy Committee to leave the key policy rates unchanged. The factors which were responsible for such a decision include the softening in food inflation, the collapse in oil prices, as well as the slowdown in economic momentum. As you are aware, the key mandate of the RBI is price stability, and as per the central bank's projections, the headline inflation is projected to be around 4%, which is its medium term target, and also the findings in the RBI's recent survey of households' inflation expectations confirms to the inflation predictions of the central bank. However, the central bank has also highlighted the key risks, particularly on the prices of crude oil, which are subject to various geopolitical tensions. Also, the central bank has raised a cautionary signal to the governments that fiscal slippages will negatively impact the inflation outlook, which could heighten market volatility and crowding out of private investment. Therefore, it has adopted a policy stance of calibrated tightening and has demanded fiscal prudence by the government in order to maintain price stability. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the GSAT 11, which is an advanced communication satellite which was put into orbit recently. This is the heaviest satellite ever built by ISRO, and its mission is to enable high-speed satellite-based internet services to users in both the rural and urban areas. Also, it will meet most of the requirements of, of providing broadband connectivity to rural and inaccessible village panchayats under the BharatNet program, which is part of the Digital India initiative. The BharatNet program aims to provide 2.5 lakh village panchayats with high-speed internet connectivity and thereby provide access to services such as e-banking, e-education, e-health, etc. Therefore, villages, remote locations, and VSAT operators will be the main gainers, and the satellite would be beneficial in bridging the urban-rural digital divide. The final issue in news today is regarding the global carbon project. According to the researchers at the University of East Anglia, global carbon emissions are set to hit an all-time high in the year 2018, which is mainly driven by the appreciable growth in coal use. The report notes the 10 biggest emitters in 2018, led by China, US, and India in the third spot. This comes at a time when representatives from more than 190 countries have begun discussions at the UN Climate Change Conference in Poland in order to deliberate on ways to cut the carbon emissions and thereby limit the global temperature rise. For this, the carbon dioxide emissions have to decline by 50% by the year 2030 and thereafter reach a net zero output by the year 2050. Given that one of the biggest polluters, that is the US, has withdrawn its commitment from the Paris deal, it remains to be seen the outcomes of the meeting, which is ongoing in Poland, and will further look into it based on the future developments. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.